Hello everyone, Jacob the New Engine 159 here. Sonic games. Love them or hate them, you can't deny that there are a lot of really interesting facts about every single one. Some of which you might not have known before. So today I looked at them all to give you one fact for every Sonic game. A few things I should cover before we get started. Firstly, I'm looking at mainline Sonic games. So, we won't be talking about games like Sonic Schoolhouse or Tails Sky Patrol. We also are not looking at any mobile games, so no Sonic Dash or Sonic Dream Team. And for the love of gosh, we're keeping Boom out of it. I am not talking about Sonic Boom today. So, with all that out of the way, let's dive into the first game. Sonic the Hedgehog. Believe it or not, Sonic the Hedgehog 1 is not actually Sonic's first appearance in a video game. His first game appearance was in the 1991 racing game Radmobile, where he appears as a car decoration inside the player's car. He also appeared in a bootleg game called Quick and Silva, in which the titular hedgehog appears as an enemy that your players can fight. However, he doesn't really do anything aside from just walk around, and he's pretty slow, but he is still there, and it is a canon appearance of him before the events of his first game. Sonic 2. So this one isn't really a fact, it's more so just base knowledge that any Sonic fan should probably know. So back in Sonic 1, there were only 6 Chaos Emeralds to collect, but in this game they added a seventh and gave you the reward of Super Sonic. Hilariously, this inconsistency continues with all future releases of Sonic 1, even later being canonized in Sonic Origins thanks to this cutscene where they literally show the 7th Emerald being added after you beat Sonic 1. It's kinda hilarious, but yeah, Sonic never actually had 7 Emeralds at the beginning. It's kinda crazy how one simple gameplay gimmick can change so much about the lore of your franchise. Sonic CD. This game holds the distinction of being the only mainline Sonic game in the 90s to not feature the Chaos Emeralds, with the Time Stones temporarily replacing them. Due to this, the Super Transformation that we got in Sonic 2 is unavailable, similar to the original game. Sonic 3. This is the first game in the franchise to feature boss fights at the end of both acts in zones. Sonic and Knuckles. This is the first and only game to feature Sonic's secondary super form, Hypersonic. This form was obtained by collecting all 7 Super Emeralds, which are the bigger versions of the Chaos Emeralds fueled by the Master Emerald's power. Because of this, Hypersonic has never been seen again. The official explanation for this is that Yuji Naka did not want Sonic to be compared to Dragon Ball anymore by having so many super forms for their titular hedgehog. As if cutting the Hyper form and keeping Super Sonic for the next 30 plus years and using him in a Hollywood movie is going to obtain that objective, but whatever. Sonic R. During an episode of the TV series Malcolm in the Middle, in the episode Dinner Out, Malcolm and his friend Stevie can be seen playing Sonic R in the level Resort Hotel. Malcolm is playing as Sonic, and the wheelchair-bound Stevie is playing as Amy Rose, who is the only character in the game on wheels. How's that for a fun trivia fact? Sonic the Fighters. This game is the first and only game to feature the character Honey the Cat. Even though she's not actually in the game, if you hack the game and click on Amy, you can play as her. I'll have a whole video coming about how she was such a wasted opportunity in a very near future. Sonic 3D Blast. At the restaurant Jack in the Box, copies of the PC version of the game were given away as bonuses for kids' meals up until the release of Sonic Adventure. which was Sonic's real first 3D game following this. Sonic Adventure. On the Sega Saturn collection, Sonic Jam, there's an extra mode called Sonic World. It's essentially a 3D prototype tech demo for Sonic Adventure, created using assets from the initially planned Saturn version of Sonic Adventure. This was being developed before development shifted to the Dreamcast. It serves as a 3D sandbox hub world. It functioned as a 3D showcase for Sonic. I don't know if any more of this demo exists outside of the Jam release, but I would love to see it. It's probably Sonic Adventure at its most pure form, using the original models the series had started with. Sonic Shuffle. Up until recently, I don't think anyone would have called Sonic Shuffle canon. However, according to Sonic World Histories, a Sonic timeline page uploaded on the official website, Sonic Shuffle is indeed canon and is set right before Sonic Adventure 2. The things we learn and the things we have to suffer in order to play every mainline Sonic game. Sonic Adventure 2. This is the only game where Sonic wears the grind shoes in order to promote the soap product, which the grind shoes were based on, along with the new extreme sport, freestyle grinding, that the shoes were made for. There are also many billboards, blimps, and benches in the game that advertise the shoes. The grind shoes themselves are a custom version of the Scorcher Nitro soap shoe, while Shadow wears a pair of custom broadside smoke soap shoes. Sonic Advance. This is the second game to feature Amy in the sound test, the first being Knuckles Chaotix. I really couldn't think of any facts for this one. Sonic Advance 2. This game is the official debut of fan favorite character Cream the Rabbit and her Chow Cheese. This character was really pushed around this time. She appeared in Sonic Advance 2, Sonic Advance 3, Sonic Battle, Sonic Rush, Sonic Heroes, and even got a cameo in the Sonic Adventure DX Director's Cut. Man, this character really went around, eh? Sonic Heroes. In the opening of Team Ro's story, Amy is seen with a newspaper clipping showing a photograph of Sonic carrying Chocola and Froggy. The article on the newspaper appears to be an ad for a SOM OS port of the 8-bit version of Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic Battle. Oddly enough, all 7 Chaos Emeralds in this game are green, and the Master Emerald does not have its own separate sprite. Meanwhile, the Master Emerald shards have their own sprites. And also, strangely enough, when Sonic gets the Master Emerald, he calls it a Master Emerald. Although this is most likely a typo. Shadow the Hedgehog. Earlier versions of this game were originally going to have a much higher age rating, roughly around a T. But eventually they dropped it down to E10 with the most amount of swearing they could possibly say being the ever-classic memed quote.
Where's that damn 4th Chaos Emerald?
Yeah, that one. Sonic Advance 3. This game has a team mechanic where you can pair up characters depending on and get different stats. However, some of these team names don't actually have names. The only ones with names are Sonic and Tails, Sonic and Knuckles, Sonic and Amy, and Amy and Cream, and then the variants of each. All the other ones, such as Tails and Knuckles, Tails and Cream, Tails and Amy, Sonic and Cream, all just default to OK as the name. Don't know what that's about, but what do I know? Sonic Riders. Originally, a Game Boy Advance version of Riders was in development by Backbone Entertainment, but it was cancelled due to a tight schedule. Despite this, Sega liked the company and worked with them again for the Sonic Rivals series. Sonic Rush. This game introduces Blaze the Cat, a fan favorite character nowadays. However, it seems like her character had a lot of really interesting behind the scenes lore. It's believed that her original concept drawings, which originally looked like this, yeah, black, red, with black, red, and blue. It's believed that these original designs were originally created for SA2. Yeah, Blaze was originally supposed to be what became Shadow. At least that's what we assume. Their colors just seem way too similar to be coincidence. Eventually, however, we landed on the official Shadow design, and eventually Sega repurposed the character design for Sonic Rush. However, they completely redid her design, and honestly, I like this new design better. This old one is just so weird, if you know what I mean. Sonic 06. So there's a bit of context involving a line that's said in the US version of the game. In one of the cutscenes, Blaze mentions having remembered Sonic, specifically by saying Blue Hedgehog.
I hope Silver is okay. He's pretty insecure when he's alone. The Iblis trigger. Blue Hedgehog.
But this is likely a mistranslation, because throughout Silver's story, she never shows any signs of familiarity with Sonic, or vice versa. It might be that it's actually just a mistranslation. Oh, and just to let you know, I'm just copying all this from the Sonic Wiki Zone, so if any of this is incorrect, let me know in the comments. The Japanese word for the color blue is oi, and the Japanese word for the adjective naive is also oi. So Blaze mentioning of Blue Hedgehog is oi hedgehog in Japanese, which can be taken either way. This phrase could not be directly translated, so it is missing from the localized version. It doesn't fully explain it, but explains it well enough to maybe give us some context behind why Blaze never remembered Sonic. Sonic and the Secret Rings. In order to make this game, Sega had to split the development team between this and Sonic 06. So it's Secret Rings' fault that game failed so badly. Sonic Rush Adventure. Originally, the Soul Dimension's sky was going to be green, as seen at the ending cutscene of the first Sonic Rush. However, in Sonic Rush Adventure, the color of the sky is blue. However, in Sky Babylon, which is at a high altitude, the sky is green again. Sonic Riders Zero Gravity. During cutscenes, Amy is wearing her normal dress, but during the races, she wears her racing outfit from the previous game. However, when playing as Amy in the story mode, she's wearing her normal dress. They really can't decide what they want her to wear in this game, can they? Sonic Unleashed. Originally, they were going to title this game Sonic Adventure 3, until the team decided to make this game more focused on Sonic rather than the other characters. cheeky sons of... Sonic and the Black Knight. This is the first and only 3D Sonic game that Dr. Eggman does not appear in any way, shape, or form. Even though his badniks appear in the Legacy missions, he himself does not appear. Sonic Colors. Are you ready for this? Because I'm about to blow your mind. This game is the first 3D title where the final boss is just Sonic versus Dr. Eggman. Go ahead and try to unsee it. Sonic Generations. In the original release of this game, there was never any explanation given as to how both Eggman managed to escape the White Void and return to their respective times at the end of the game. Ian Flynn wanted to add an explanation of how they escaped in Sonic X Shadow Generations, but Takashi Iizuka rejected the idea of expanding the main story campaign and instead insisted on leaving it up to the player's imagination as to how they both Doctors escaped. Personally, I would have preferred if they actually just explained, but what do I know? Sonic Freeriders. This was the first Sonic the Hedgehog and Riders game to be released exclusively on a Microsoft console. This is also the first Xbox 360 exclusive game, and the first Sonic game to use a Kinect peripheral. And we all know how that went for this series now, don't we? Sonic Lost World. This game shares a lot of gameplay similarities with that of Super Mario Galaxy, another game that has freely floating circular level structures, traveling between several planetoids and has gravity playing a key role. Windy Hill Zone 1's segment structure resembles the levels from Super Mario Galaxy series and Super Mario 3D Land. So now they actually just wanted to make Sonic Mario. Sonic Mania. This game had two pre-order trailer and opening track themes composed by Hyper Potions, their titles being Time Trials and Friends, respectively. Sonic Forces. This was one of the first games to be announced for the Nintendo Switch, as well as the second third-party title announced for the system. I really don't have anything interesting to say about Forces. Moving on. Team Sonic Racing. Originally, the game was meant to release in the fourth quarter of 2018, but got delayed until the 21st of May 2019 due to Sega's decision to give the development team extra time to use to fix any bugs or refine the gameplay before its final release. Sure didn't save the game though. Sonic Frontiers. Originally, this game was only going to have 3 islands. One big island to start, as well as a small one and then the final one. However, the trailers depicted this, but at some point after the trailers, the development team went back to the drawing board and added 2 and split the first island into 3 parts: Kronos, Ares, and Chaos Island. The people at Sega's Sonic team work really fast, I tell you. Sonic Superstars. This game marks the first physical appearance of Fang since Sonic the Fighters in 1996. Return of the King. Sonic X Shadow Generations. This bundle is the first time a console version of Sonic Generations became available on a Nintendo console, as the 3DS version was a different game with unique levels. Sonic Racing Crossworlds. In the DLC level Bikini Bottom, made to tie in with the SpongeBob DLC, there is a reference to the Season 7 episode Sponge Kano in the final act. During the act, a volcano is actively erupting, and Squidward's house flies from its perch and lands in the volcano, sealing it up and protecting the racers. Pretty random reference in all honesty. I mean, why this random episode from Season 7 of all episodes to reference? That was a big video. I think I need to take a nap after all that. Oh, okay. I'll see you all in the next video, guys. Laters.